Dear children, listen whilst I tell what to a certain elf befell, who left his house and sailed forth, adventure seeking south and north, and west and east, by path and field, resolved to conquer or to yield. A thimble on his back he carried, with a rose twig his bow he parried. It was a sunny, bright spring day, when to the wood he took his way. He knew that in a certain spot a bumblebee his net had got. The bee was out, the chance was good, but just when grabbing all he could, he heard the bee behind him humming, and only wished he heard it coming. In terror turned the tiny man, and now a famous fire began. The bee flew around and buzzed and stung. The elf prickly rose staff swung, now fiercely here, now wildly there. He hit the bee or fought the air. At last one weighty blow descended. The bee was dead, the fight was ended. Exhausted quite, he took a seat. The honey tasted doubly sweet. The thimbleful had been upset, but still there were a few drops yet. He licked his lips and blessed himself that he was such a lucky elf, and now might hope to live in clover. But his troubles were not over. For at that instant by his side a beast of fearful form he spied. At first he thought it was a bear, and headlong fell in dire despair. He lost one slipper in the moss, and this was not his only loss. With paws and snout the beast was nimble, and very soon cleared out the thimble. This rifling of his honey pot awoke our elfin's wrath full hot. He made a rope of linden bast, by either end he held it fast, and creeping up behind the beast, intent upon the honey feast, before he had the slightest inkling, the rope was rounded in a twinkling. The mouse shrieked, "Murder, fire, and thieves!" and struggled through the twigs and leaves. It pulled the reins with all its might. Our hero only drew them tight. Upon the mouse's back he leaped, and like a man his seat he kept. His steed was terribly affrighted, but he himself was much delighted. "Gee up, my little horse," he cried, "I mean to have a glorious ride, so bear me forth with lightning speed, a knight resolved on doughty deed. The wide world we will gallop round, and clear the hedges at one bound." The mouse set off, the hero bantered, and out in the world they cantered. At last they rode up to an inn. "Good Mr. Host, pray who's within?" "My daughter serves the customers, before the fire the tomcat purrs." For further news they did not wait. The mouse sprang through the garden gate. They fled without a look behind them. The question is, did Thomas find them?